The first thing I'm doing is cutting the door trims so the new floor and underlayment will be able to fit under it, and removing the old carpet and anything beneath it. After the old carpet and anything under it was removed, and once the sanding is done, another step is required before installing the underlayment. And even before that, it's important to know the alignment of the joists which reside under the existing plywood, whether they are in parallel or perpendicular to the future hardwood floor. You will see that I have a situation where one room has them in parallel while the other perpendicular. The preparation process for both scenarios is utterly different. Luckily, you will see both of them in this video. This I will need to sand. Needs to be perfect. In this room the joists go like this. I didn't check the other area yet. In any case, it will look much better if the hardwood floor will go all the way till the end instead of strange lines, especially in the area of the stairs. I have stairs there. So I will try and lay down the hardwood parallel to the joists. Let me show you how I do it. This is a good example showing that everything looks leveled, but there is a big gap, or not big, but there is a gap here and here and here. And it's not a surprise because I have a joist running here, here and here. To solve this problem, I will put the level and I will look at the bottom of it. I will ignore this level thing. It's deceiving. And I will always take a closer look and see where's the gap. Now I understand that it goes everywhere there is a joist. I will slowly build layers like a hill. So I will show you, it will be easier than explaining what I'm going to do. I'm adding more layers on the problematic areas. The first part, or the first piece, was a little bit shorter than the next one. By this, I'm creating some kind of a hill. This area will be higher than this area. Then slowly it's like a hill, something like this, because currently it's like that. So I need to add more layers here, less here. And now even a bigger one. In the beginning of the room, or the connection between the two rooms, I have a problem. Too big of a gap. I can sand it, but it will take hours. And I don't have hours and I don't want to deal with all the dust. So I will cut everything here and also on the other side, and then remove this little piece of plywood. Beneath the plywood there's a subfloor, and I will start pushing those pieces, 3 or 4 layers or 5, whatever I need, just to level everything. So I will not have this dancing level. I will cut here and all the way till the end. gift from the previous builders. Thank you. So in this room the joists go like this, while in the other room they go like that. Some areas are really bad, and you can see here, I don't know, 5-6 layers, and underneath there are 4 or 5 more. If you do it on your own, there's no need to overlap the pieces, and direction doesn't matter. You can lay them in parallel or perpendicular to the future hardwood floor. Here I had a bubble and my wife performed a successful operation. Surgery, yep. Finding the center in all walls, running chalk line between them, finding the center, measuring till the starting wall, minus 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch for the expansion gap, taking this length, transferring it to this side and this side, and running a chalk line. This will be the starting point. I'd like to add some comments. Transferring the lines from the center is required since walls are not straight. The expansion gap that I used is an overkill, but the double trim I'm going to use after installing the hardwood floor will cover it. In the living room, for example, I didn't use any expansion gap at the starting line, and I'm not having any issues 6 months later. To conclude, know what trim board width you're going to use and make sure that the gap is smaller than that. Here the floor is in a much better shape than in the room, except for this area, this small tiny area. Everything is just leveled and perfect. Now you know the amount of work required between parallel and perpendicular joists. Parallel joists floor leveling takes much more time and effort in ensuring level and sound foundation. Installing hardwood floor on an unlevel foundation will cause the hardwood floors to look and feel like waves. This part is fixed, and that one is done. Let's proceed to installing the floor. From here, like in all videos, I start from there with the straightest board, and then you will see what I will do here. I'm laying down the first row on the chalk line, then face nailing every 6 inches or so. It doesn't really matter. I didn't go with a measuring tape. And then also 45 degrees every 12 inches or so. The nail, when I'm doing with the 45 degrees, is sticking out. To fix it, I'm using those tools and going one by one. Otherwise, the next piece of board will not fit inside because the nail will block it. It will be in the way. I don't need a tongue on the next board, but I do need the groove. So I'm flipping the board, marking the location of where I'm going to cut. As you can see, it's the beginning of the tongue, not at the end of it. Then I'm going to flip the board and cut it. This way I will preserve the groove and cut the tongue. Now there's no tongue on this side, but the groove is preserved, so I can push it to the tongue. I just noticed that the board that I cut doesn't even have a tongue at all, so apparently this can happen as well. It's not a problem, I have plenty more, and this one has a tongue. For the second row I used the 16 gauge nailer and did every 6 inches or so in an angle. For the corner, I cut this little piece with a jigsaw, and I've considered the expansion gap. Yeah, looks good. This piece of wood is sold separately and can change the direction of the boards. Groove to groove, because I need to change the direction. I'll add some glue and start again nailing from this side. I mix the boards by using different pieces from different boxes. Avoiding it will cause parts of the floor to be brighter or darker, which looks bad. And when I can't, I face nail. When I'm close to the wall, I'm putting my spacer, which is about 2 centimeters, 3/4 of an inch. I'm flipping the board so the groove is towards the wall. In other words, this is the tongue, this is the groove. I'm flipping the board and marking this location, where the tongue starts, not where it ends, because the groove will slide into it. And then cutting with my miter saw. Sometimes some boards don't have a tongue. This is how it came from the manufacturer. In this case, I already installed it, and then I realized what I will do is just continue the next line, but I will face nail it and then from the sides, just so it will not move in time. I didn't have enough room, so I took probably 5 or 6 boxes and arrange them here by length. Now I have more room to work. The last rows I'm just putting in place, and then eventually I will tighten them. The installation process in the room with the perpendicular joists will be exactly the same. The only difference was in the preparation, which was considerably longer in the room with the parallel joists. Next to the wall, I cut the piece a little bit shorter than it is, so it will fit here, and it does. If by mistake you're doing it on your own and you're cutting this piece in such a way that it doesn't stop here but continue further, your entire row will end up being shorter in width, which is incorrect. It will be visible to the eye. So make sure that whenever you have such places, you stop where you need to stop. I cut the groove at the edge. At the edges, I'm taking long board, or it doesn't matter what board. Then I flip it over, making a little bit expansion gap. It doesn't really matter, but just a little bit. Marking where to cut. This will be my piece, and the rest, this entire thing, I will put it on the other side. You see there's no groove. Unfortunately covering my mistake. I cut the bottom part and this side and here a little bit, not too much. Now I need to slide it in. I need to decide how much to cut from this board because this doesn't fit. This is some stairs, you see it's a little bit different. Now I'm missing a piece. I'm having a gap and I need to decide how much to cut from here and how much to cut from here, the new board, so things will look a little more elegant. I removed the groove and now let's see what I need to remove from the other board. I'm taking a pencil, so let me put it in place. I placed the board that I want to cut. I'll just mark something here. Come on. Okay. Now I'll measure the distance from here to here, and this is what I need to remove. This board was unfinished. I just sprinkled some water on it and I found out that it's lighter in color than the rest of the boards. So what I did is mixing this product with a little bit of stain. just for the first layer. This gave me a darker tone. Then I waited for 6 hours for it to dry and I applied the second coat. Just with a brush, nothing fancy. I waited 6 more hours and now I'm ready for the filler. I'm going to use wood stick instead of metal, so I will not scratch the wood by mistake and leave some kind of scratch marks. All this information was provided to me by my friend Bill, who's doing floors for more than 25 years. You will see Bill on the next video where I install unfinished hardwood floors. Now I'll let it rest for 45 minutes and then slightly sand it. Slightly with 150-180 sanding grit paper. I use the same numbers that I marked previously to show me where I need to place the boards, or where was the original place. As you can see, I have a gap here, so I'll have another piece. When the nail is sticking out from this side, I'm just pulling it back home slowly. When it's not sticking, I'm just cutting it. And I'm holding it so it will not fly away. That's it. Same for the rest of them, and then I'll just connect it to the wall. Sometimes it's possible to extract the nail without breaking it and without damaging anything from the other side. Sometimes. See? Nothing. Beautiful. Wooden floors make things look luxurious. By the way, if you're interested in seeing the build of this huge maple tabletop, search for it on my channel. Anyhow, time taken around 2 weeks, cost for materials around 4 grand, cost for tools and materials around 11 grand. Thanks for watching.